Don't be late in the morning. Bye!
Hi, I'm Jim. Welcome to sunny Deutschland. I expect some of you know the life out here pretty well. The tourist spots, the beer kellers, nightclubs, all those lovely Fräuleins. I used to go in for all that myself. Made quite a splash. Tempting to think it's a bit of a doddle, isn't it? I mean, you almost expect some joker to have a go at you in Northern Ireland, but not here, surely. That's what I used to think anyway. It was only when I got a chance to take a second look that I realised all kinds of strange people take an interest in what we do. Everyone from Ivan to the IRA. Trouble is, most of their interest is so subtle, it tends to go unnoticed. Unless you're on the lookout for it, that is. Little details that you or I might consider irrelevant actually get fed back as useful information about you, me, the unit, and our security weakness. I tell you, you wouldn't believe the half of it. Oh well, I'll show you what we're up against. How about this as a for instance? The guy on the gate. It's a routine task. And we all know what a bum job it can be when things get busy. If you stopped every vehicle for a thorough search, the queue would stretch right around the camp. Try explaining that to some impatient VIP. On the other hand, you could say that trying to keep the undesirables out is the most important job on the camp. So what do? Well, what you must do is make sure everyone has a pass that's valid for the camp. And remember, a passport just tells you who somebody is. Doesn't mean they can enter your barracks. Terrorists have passports too. If you come across an ID card you haven't seen before, check it against the display or ask your guard commander. If you're happy with the ID, well, the rest is a matter of just spot checking and looking for anything out of the ordinary.
How's Spice Peter?
Right.
Thank you. Okay. Are you going to the hangars?
Right.
Do you know your way there?
Right.
Okay then. Okay, middle.
Marks out of 10? Okay, so he was busy. And he did check the driver's pass. But he didn't check that the others had ID, and he didn't check the list of contractors. He was the first to mention hangars, not the driver. And I'll tell you something else. That's not the way to them. Point taken? Ah, there's a sporty little number.
Good morning, can I see some form of
Captain Harrison, you've seen me before, haven't you?
No, sir.
I'm in a hurry. Get the barrier up.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir. Oh dear, oh dear. Don't be phased like that when you're on guard. If you don't recognize somebody, check their ID. don't know about you, but I don't like the look of this one somehow. Well, he looks pretty pleased with himself, doesn't he? I wonder why. You know, the official name for all this business at the gate is control of access. That means tight security. It doesn't mean letting in some comedian with one of these. Yeah, very funny, no doubt. But one day the joke could turn sour, believe me. And it's not just the gate that's important. There's plenty of other areas of the camp where attention to detail is vital. Take a look at this.
Hey, plant life. What are you gawping at? Some kind of problem? There was some kind of naff inside you.
Go on, sling it up.
Sling it up. Go on, go on.
Wonder what he wanted. Nuh-uh. We call him around here again, will he?
Won't he? Nah, well, he was just a nutter. Or pervert, wasn't he? Which is why no one seemed concerned enough to report it to the military police. But how about you? Can you honestly claim to have reported everything that might be a security threat? However remote the possibility? How, eh? Be honest. Take this guy, for instance. Well, he won't report this, will he? It's a way back into the camp for anyone who's late, including him. Hang on. Who's this? Ah, it's only old Chalky. Back after hours as usual.
Show me the way to go.
Shall we stitch him up?
Right. Good stuff. Where's that hole?
Yeah, I know. You'd never drop one of your mates in it like that. But what if it wasn't just Chalky? What if it was some terrorist after weapons or ammunition that one day might drop old Chalky for good? Which is worse? Think about it. Meanwhile, I'm off to do a bit more snooping. Hey, up. That's just dropped the duty NCO right in it. Well, at least our man's gone in for a look round. Well. What have we here? The story's probably quite simple. Chances are it fell down the inside of a turret during range practice. After the troop sergeant had signed the clearance certificate, someone cleaning the turret finds this little lot. The last thing he wants to do was upset the troop sergeant, so he hides it. The last thing the guard wants to do is get his mate into trouble, so he leaves it hidden. No problem. Until, that is, one of these very rounds is fired at him. terrorists to Aladdin's cave. And it looks as though Aladdin's slipped out for a few minutes without looking up. And judging by that whiz wheel, it'll take a genie to find him too. Our friend thought that was very amusing, didn't he? It's a pity he didn't check the door. Quite a catch, wouldn't you say? There's a few teams make a right old meal out of this lot. Still, they are chained, I suppose. Yeah, and they're pretty strong. But that wouldn't stop some determined terrorist who managed to sneak in like I did and had a few minutes to work on him. He couldn't do that, of course, if the system was being followed to the letter. But that's the problem. Usually it's individuals who let the system down, not the other way around. Well, I think I need some fresh air.
Changed. Sightings of T-64s and T-62s have been seen in this area around here. Okay? Now, as you know, we're in this position here. If we do get contact,
Enemy contact, stand to!
Move out! Come on, move it!
Leaving weapons unguarded is bad enough. But believe it or not, there are a few wallies around who actually manage to lose them. Talk about own goals or shooting yourself in the foot. And what do you think he did once he twigged he'd lost it? Well, he had a choice, didn't he? He could have told his boss straight away, got a good bollocking, and gone back for the weapon immediately. Unfortunately, he chose the silly option, which was to keep quiet about it and hope to sneak back the next day and find it. Look, there he is now, with one of his mates. Don't seem to be having much luck, do they? Pitiful, really. I don't suppose I have to tell you what's going to happen to him when he gets back to camp.
Oh, yeah. What have I got?
Is this your weapon, Trudeau?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where you lost it?
Yes, sir.
Why the hell didn't you come and tell me you lost it?
Go and find it.
I don't think I want to hear anymore, do you? At least the weapon was recovered. But it'll still be done. Because that weapon could have easily ended up in the wrong hands. And weapons aren't the only things that can end up there. This brings back painful memories.
Stand! Management, big bird, F-I-F-I-F-I, right wheel! Mark, time!
You've got one epaulette sticking up, another one sticking in.
You are charged with conduct to the prejudice of good order and military discipline, contrary to Section 69 of the Army Act 1955, in that you were at Hildesheim on the 29th of July this year, so negligently handle your MOD Form 90 as to cause it to become lost.
You pull your chest back. Your boots are not very good at all.
Do you know there's 150 people that lose their ID cards in VAOR every month? Staggering, isn't it? Usually it's just carelessness, leaving wallets lying around or sticking out the back pocket. Other times it's just plain irresponsibility.
That would be 396 marks, please.
I still think of it that much.
Well, you have driven a lot of kilometers with the car.
But it just still seems a lot more. I don't think I've done that much mileage. I haven't got enough.
Then what do you propose to do?
Well, I've got some more money back in camp. I can get that to you by the end of the week. That's all right. It's just, it seems a lot of money and I haven't got enough.
By Friday?
Yeah, I'll have it to you by Friday.
And what is this?
That's my ID.
And what is ID?
My identity card.
Oh, I see. Then perhaps if you could leave this card with me until you come back with the money, and then I know you will come back.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That'll do nicely, sir. But how do you know the manager's on the level? When you come back, what if he's unfortunately lost your card? And if you never intended to pay, what happens to your ID card then? Remember him? Just some nutter or pervert, wasn't he? Maybe. But why does he need to hire a car? He's got his own, hasn't he? There's other places some blokes might be stupid enough to leave their ID cards. Ski hire outfits, shops, garages, clip joints, if that's your scene. For God's sake, don't leave them anywhere. It's bad enough doing it by accident, let alone on purpose. If your ID card ends up in the wrong hands, who's honestly going to need a hole in the fence?
Following people are to parade for CEO's orders at 10 hours. Dress number 2s. An extremely high standard of turnout is required. Trooper Winspear, Trooper Snelham, Trooper Brown.
What the friggin' are you doing with them, Duffy? You know you get shot for having that.
I'll tell you what I'm doing with these. I'm sick of seeing my sodding name on squadron orders. So I've written the bloody things down and I've got a proper use for these things.
You tapped. Oh, what's the use of that?
How's that? Not too clever, really. Squadron detail information is restricted. That means you don't leave it lying around. They should be properly displayed inside, not outside, a building which can be locked within a barracks. For example, within a battalion or company HQ building, so that no unauthorised person can see it, but soldiers have access to it. In the words of the Manual of Army Security, restricted means information and material, the unauthorised disclosure of which would be undesirable in the interests of the nation. Or to you and me, information that a terrorist might be clever enough to use, but which we might not be clever enough to realise he could use. You wouldn't think it to look at them, but this is actually the burning detail. They're meant to take all the restricted waste to the incinerator and burn it. So what do they do? They think that because it's only restricted, it doesn't matter if they chuck it in the skip at the local dump. Trouble is, it does matter. Perhaps it wouldn't matter so much if all this had been torn up small and mixed with other waste paper. But look at this. And it's like this, of course, because it should have been burned. Here we go. Squadron detail. A right little gold mine. For anyone into mines, that is. Who in the unit's doing what, where they're going to do it, and when. And you don't have to dig very deep either. Ugh. Weapon pamphlets. Terrorists just look to collect these. You see what I mean? With info like this floating around, we make ourselves vulnerable to any outfit that sees us as a legitimate target, either as individual soldiers or as a unit. Our enemies spend a lot of time patiently collecting and sorting information about us, and we mustn't forget it. If you ever have doubts about anyone, check them out. Don't leave it all to the poor guy on the gate. There's no mystery about security, you know. It's our responsibility to look after our weapons and ammunition, keep restricted information away from prying eyes, and satisfy ourselves that everybody on the camp has a legitimate reason to be here. Simple, isn't it? Oh, not him again. What is he? Ivan? Terrorist? Legit? Seems to have an ID card, at any rate. I wonder how they're going to cope with this punter. Hang on. I think I spied Corporal Jones from the valleys. Hey, there'll be no sloping past that one, that's for sure. Get on, you old Welsh bugger, suss him out. Don't feel right about him, do you?
Uncle Littleton?
Yes, I love you, Jonesy, you old bastard. Yeah, sorry about that. Got a bit carried away there, didn't I?
There's no way mean to the garden, Richard. I'm honest.
You have to be a bit of a bugger when it comes to security. It's quite important to me, you see. Because I can't actually benefit from what Jonesy just did. Yeah, that's me. Not a pretty sight. Killed in action? Hardly. Killed by inaction, more like. What more can I say? Except don't let it happen to you or your mates. And if you follow the rules, absolutely. The chances are it won't. Well, that's it. I'll see you around. But not too soon, I hope. If you get my meaning.